Have you ever watched an early episode of The Amazing World of Gumball and thought, wait, why does Gumball sound so different now? Or even more than that, why does he feel different? From goofy slapstick chaos in Season 1 to heart-punching emotional moments in the finale, Gumball's voice hasn't changed, it's evolved, and it tells a deeper story than you might think. Let's go back to the very beginning. Season 1. The year is 2011. Gumball is voiced by Logan Grove. And right off the bat, you notice it. Gumball sounds young, reckless, high-pitched with this non-stop energy that fits perfectly with the tone of early episodes like the third or the DVD. This version of Gumball is chaotic, immature, and unfiltered. And Logan nailed it. His voice was cartoony, exaggerated, and always bouncing with sarcasm and mischief. Take a moment and listen to this clip from Season 1, Episode 1, the DVD. That right there, peak Logan Grove energy. The way he stretches words, the whiny delivery, the over-the-top drama, it's not just funny, it's a kid pretending to be bigger than he is, which is exactly who Gumball was at the start. But here's the thing, that voice isn't built for emotional depth. And at this stage in the series, it didn't need to be. Most of Gumball's storylines were wild, comedic episodes with little lasting consequence. But the show was already planting seeds. Even in early episodes like The Responsible, where Gumball and Darwin are stuck babysitting Anais, you can sense the show testing emotional beats. Logan does his best to match those quieter, softer moments, but his voice is naturally wired for comedy. Eventually, the inevitable happened. Logan hit puberty. His voice deepened. The tone didn't fit the character anymore, so the showrunners made the first big switch. Meet Jacob Hopkins. He takes over Gumball's voice starting in Season 3. Landing the role of Gumball? Yeah, Jacob was more than ready. By the time he stepped into the Blue Cat's shoes, he was already stacking up an impressive acting resume, and he was still a kid. One of his first big breaks, playing Alexander Drew on HBO's True Blood. Yep, he went full serious mode for that one. Vampires, drama, and all the intense stuff most child actors don't even touch. But Jacob could flip the switch. He also popped up on the sitcom The Goldbergs as Chad Kremp, delivering laughs across several episodes and seasons. So yeah, range wasn't an issue. By the time The Amazing World of Gumball came calling, the show was already a giant. So not only did he have to be a strong voice actor, he also had to match the voice fans already loved. And somehow, he nailed both. Now, this is where things get interesting. Jacob's voice still holds that youthful playfulness, but it also introduces something new: vulnerability. Listen to this clip from The Mothers.
Mom, you won!
What? What do you mean?
We had a competition to decide who's the superest mom in the world, and you won!
Guys, I'm no superhero.
But you are! You've endured all the trials we put you through and succeeded. The escalator, the oil, the shelves, everything.
Boom, right there. Jacob's voice isn't just funnier, it's softer when it needs to be. You hear real emotion, not exaggerated cartoon sadness, but actual hesitation and care. And this shift perfectly lines up with what the show was doing. Gumball was growing up. The stories were getting deeper. Episodes like The Shell, where Gumball confesses his feelings to Penny, just wouldn't have worked with Logan's voice. Jacob brings in that awkward, blushing, adolescent energy. He feels like a real middle schooler dealing with real confusion. And yet, Jacob still had that comedy edge. His delivery in episodes like The Downer or The Console proves he could flip between absurd and sincere without missing a beat. But just like Logan, Jacob also eventually outgrew the role. And by the time we hit Season 5, Gumball was ready for one last transformation. Now we arrive at Nicholas Cantu. This was the voice of Gumball during the later seasons, including the last few episodes and most emotional arcs. And from his first line, you can hear the difference. Nicholas has a deeper tone, still youthful but more natural, more grounded. Gone is the hyper-exaggeration of Logan. Gone is even the flustered middle school energy of Jacob. Nicholas sounds like a kid who's been through stuff, and that matches where the show was going. Take the Inquisition, for example.
What do you think you're doing?
Putting an end to your nonsense!
We'll see about that.
Fist fight? Really?
Take him down.
That line hits hard. This is a show that started with Gumball making butt jokes and punching bananas in the face. Now he's standing up for individuality, fighting conformity, and literally challenging authority. Nicholas had to bring real weight to those moments, and he delivered. Even in the finale, where the world is glitching around him and Gumball is slowly realizing nothing is what it seems, Nicholas keeps the performance grounded. He doesn't scream, he doesn't freak out. He sounds confused, scared, angry, all at once. It's subtle, and that's what makes it hit so much harder. Gumball had evolved, and so did his voice. Now, here's the thing. A lot of fans might feel weird about voice actor changes. We get used to a voice. It becomes the voice of the character. But in the Amazing World of Gumball, those changes didn't break the illusion. They enhanced it. Because every time Gumball switched voice actors, it mirrored his emotional growth. Logan's voice, childhood. Jacob's voice, puberty and identity. Nicholas's voice, reflection and self-awareness. And this wasn't a coincidence. The writers and directors leaned into the change. They wrote stories that justified Gumball becoming more emotionally aware. Look at the choices where Nicole recounts her past. Gumball doesn't just make jokes, he listens, he responds. Or the gripes, where he questions why the world seems unfair. His tone isn't sarcastic anymore, it's thoughtful. That's a big leap from Season 1 Gumball, who would have just made a dumb face and moved on. Each new episode carried more emotional range than the last, not because the actors were better, but because the stories asked for more. Now, you might be wondering, what about Darwin? He changed voices too, right? Absolutely, and his evolution followed a similar path. But here's where things differ. Darwin's core personality stayed mostly the same. He was always the optimistic, emotional heart of the show. So while his voice actors matured, the tone of his character didn't shift as dramatically. Gumball, on the other hand, transformed from selfish prankster to thoughtful older brother. And that's why his voice changes felt more profound, because they were backed by real character growth. With the upcoming Amazing World of Gumball movie and rumored new episodes in development, fans are already wondering, will Nicholas Cantu stay? Will they cast someone new? Honestly, it depends on what kind of Gumball story they want to tell. If it picks up where the Inquisition left off, they may want Nicholas to keep that emotional momentum. If they go for a reboot or younger timeline, they might cast a new kid. Either way, what matters is this. The voice of Gumball is never just about pitch. It's about what the voice represents. A kid who starts out silly, gets confused, feels scared, becomes bold, and finally grows up. And honestly, that's more emotional than any finale. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe for more Gumball breakdowns and animation deep dives. Until next time, stay weird.